So this kind of sucks, but we have to start out on a string of tough news, actually. First and foremost, you probably heard already, happened last night. They announced it on the Leaf game broadcast, on top of being announced everywhere on sports media. But Walter Gretzky passed away last night. I think Wayne was first to announce it on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. And then it just kind of all expanded out from there. And it's crazy to see the impact of a human being that was never an athlete, never really like a figure in like celebrity at any status, but just the impact he had on so many damn people, from just like being the father to the greatest hockey player of all time was kind of what he was. But like, he seems like he was everybody's hockey dad. And I think that's kind of the vibes. If you're looking around and listening to everyone's stories, it's just kind of the vibe you get from what Walter Gretzky was. And I know, like, we both met him. I was a little young. Like, I was still in high school, but it was like grade 10 maybe. And even then you could just see like the way he treated people, and the way you just approach the man and he's like family right then and there. Like, he treats you like his own son, just without even knowing you, and just like loves to be around people, love to help people, love to just be that positive vibe. And obviously he was getting up there in age, so you knew this was coming at some point, but it's still brutal to see it happen, just to see this light go dark in the world today.
Yeah, man, I think you said it best. Like, the sports world has lost their hockey dad.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he definitely, upon me meeting him, I was in a volunteer situation, and like right away afterwards we got to hang out with him, and he was like, I appreciate what you guys have done, volunteering, helping this come to be. And then afterwards, posing for photos and stuff like that. And in the photo, man, like, I am cracked up because he just, like, I can't exactly remember what he said, but obviously it was something funny, because that smile is just like, I'm having the time of my life there with him, right?
Just listening to him talk it's such an experience, because he just like he just captivates everyone in the room.
Yeah,
and it was just incredible to be in his presence. And like, this is not a guy that really did anything extravagant to like bring himself into celebrity status, but like, he was just such an incredible human being. Like, as a hockey father, he just became this wicked figure that everyone loved to be around, because he was just such a great human being. And it sucks, obviously. I mean,
yeah, I've heard stories of him even going out of his way to to reach out to people he didn't know, but people that knew of him, right? And he was just that type of guy that he'd pretty much give you the sweater off his back if he could, because he was just that kind of generosity, and he made sure that everybody felt welcomed within the rink and within the area that he was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot to be the arguably the greatest hockey player is like dad, right?
Yeah.
To take on that responsibility and to set an example. Like, I feel like he did a tremendous job at being the father of the great one, and continue, and to put an even stronger legacy onto the Gretzky name, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was like, both of them.
There's Wayne and Walter, and they're both different celebrity status.
Yeah, and one of them played and one of them didn't, and yet both of them still had so much impact on the game,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a crest on their jerseys to show, because that's how much impact he had into the game, right? Like, the NHL could definitely
a moment of silence for sure.
Absolutely, like, they're going to do something to honor him, right? So
absolutely. I just kind of wanted to read this too, because Jackie Redmond, she used to work for Sportsnet. I think she's with the NHL Network now, if I'm not mistaken. She posted this story. I thought it was really cool, actually. Just kind of encompasses what Walter Gretzky was. But she goes, long before I worked in hockey, I worked at a golf club. At one tournament, Walter was a celebrity guest, which is hilarious, by the way. This is a hockey dad who's a celebrity guest. Like, that just speaks to what he was.
Amazing.
But she goes, long after the golf was over and dinner was done, the place was emptying out, just us servers left cleaning up. And there's Walter Gretzky asking us how he can help. He started belting out a song. I honestly think it was There's a Hole in My Bucket. And he went around picking up glasses and stacking them on my tray, singing away, making us all laugh. He would not take no for an answer. He stayed for at least 30 minutes, place empty, chatting and helping us all clean up, leaving us a tip on the bar before getting on his way. She said, we didn't care about the tip. All we could talk about was how amazing, fun, and high energy he was. He was an incredible presence and a wonderful man. Like, just stuff like that, man, where like he was just such a genuine human being, not because he had to, just because he enjoyed it. And it was great.
And that was really passed down to his son, right? Like, I got to meet Wayne as well, and you can see that he emulates that very well, right? He took that from his father, and he brought that forward to well in his own life. So, it definitely is a real sad day in the hockey world especially, but I think in sports world for sure.
Yeah. So obviously that started off last night and started out the negative mood, but then I woke up this morning and saw a tweet. I forget who it was that first I saw it from, but if you don't know him, it's probably understandable. Chris Schultz, he was one of the CFL broadcasters. He passed away late last night or early this morning at age 61. He had a heart attack in his home, if I'm not mistaken. Again, that's a man that's gone way too young. Chris Schultz played for the Argos, played in the NFL for a little bit. I don't remember where he played, but he was a guy that was still prominent on that TSN broadcast for the CFL, and I remember watching him when I was watching Grey Cups and stuff like that. And like, this is a guy that is not much older than most people's parents that are around our age, and it's crazy to see a guy at that age have health problems, especially in times like this where it just takes another person that's just way too young.
Absolutely.
Not much to say on Chris Schultz. I mean, he wasn't the biggest.
Yeah, I'm entirely, yeah, can't say that I knew him, but it's tough to see anybody within the sports community, right? A life taken, an impact. Someone who made an impact in the game in some way. They value all the same. So
he may not have had the reach of Walter Gretzky, obviously, but like just for the CFL community for one, and just like the TSN group, that they loved him, and it's a tragic situation to see now because I think he has a family, if I'm not mistaken. And it's brutal to see him go at 61. Like that's just terrible news. Yeah. So on from the desk, not into much better news. Brent Seabrook today announced his retirement from hockey. It's not much of a surprise, to be honest. It's not big news. We don't have to spend a shit ton of time on it, but he's been out for 2 years with injuries. Just decided he's not coming back. There's no point. He's going to announce his retirement. All respect to him. The guy was a great defenseman in his day. He was arguably the best defenseman, maybe the second on that dynasty that was the Chicago Blackhawks. And he was good. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he reached that status, but he's knocking on the door. I think he played for Team Canada, 3 tournaments or 2 tournaments in the Olympics?
2 tournaments for sure.
Yeah. So this is a guy
he was there in the 2010. I know that he was on that team.
I think he was 2014 too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. I think that he actually will make the Hall of Fame. He sits. Yeah, he sits up there in the Chicago franchise. For defenseman. Right. He's
3
going to
sit up. So
3 cups and an Olympic gold medal, like that kind of just solidifies you. Right. But I'm just, what I mean? Like,
but either way, yeah.
He played for the 2010, the one that we're for sure of, right? So it's definitely something that you kind of cemented yourself in. It is tough because I feel like those Chicago teams, man, they had grinds for so many years, and you knew there would be a decline. And for some players, man, it takes their body out. And unfortunately for him, that's what happened, right? His heart was there. His mind was still in the game. He tried every opportunity he could to get back into it. Yeah. But, his body just kept pushing him back. And, I think this is definitely the smart move for him, and really sad to see being a Chicago fan, like he was absolutely one of the key reason why we had so many cups. Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough to see just the downfall of what his career was, because he went from being like one of the top 5 D-men in the NHL at one point, just defensively, just unbelievable. You couldn't get by him. And that pairing with him and Keith was just disgusting. Like, there was nothing better. And then just all of a sudden was just nothing anymore. And it's kind of like what you're seeing with Erik Karlsson, where you went to this elite status for a little bit, and then it's just Father Time hit him like a sack of bricks, and just out he went really quick. It sucks because, like, I think any of the younger kids that are coming up in the game don't really respect what Brent Seabrook was when they were like those 2010 to 2014 years. He was among the best defense in the league, and like his numbers are there to back it up. But you don't really see that out of him anymore.
And he'll have a tough time, right, putting his name out in front of the likes of Kane, Taves, Hossa, like Sharp. Like, there's names, like, you usually give the forwards credit, and Keith and Jalmerson. Like, I'm still naming people, right? And it's just unfortunately he kind of gets thrown into that big pile of, we're gonna have a lot of big names. And
they were deep. That team was deep as hell. Everybody.
Sure.
It's tough. Like, obviously not everybody from that team is a Hall of Famer, but like there's so many guys that, like, just the accolades they have in their career because of that team. It's just like, well, like, I don't know. Are they fringe? Are they in? Who knows? I think he's near the fringe. He could get in. I wouldn't be that shocked. But personally, I don't know if he's quite there. He's got as a defensive defenseman, he's got 464 points in 1,114 games. He still played 1,000 games, which is pretty good.
Right, like I think you kind of hit all the appropriate check marks. Like
he's only 35. He hasn't played for 2 years, and he still played 1,100 games, not including playoffs.
Right. So those playoff runs, man, because there was how many times they'd go to the conference finals, right? Like
constant. They were deep in every single run, and
it
takes its toll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the players that went through those runs, like they're hurting now because they played so many damn games. He played 123 playoff games. So this is like on top of the 1,100 games. So you're looking at like 12 to 1,300 games that he played over the course of his career, not including preseason and all that stuff, but long career. It's a respectable for career. Brent Seabrook. Sucks to see him go, but you know what? Respect.
You throw in the Olympics too, man. Like you count those games, and it's
exactly.
he's had a good career.
Yep. Sticking with the Chicago Blackhawks, Patty Kane scored his 400th career goal
in the most Patrick Kane fashion.
Right.
Can I just say?
Okay.
Just put it home. That's it. Putting it right by you.
That was the one he stopped up and ripped it, right?
I watched the game, and so many times he just he tried, and then at one point everyone was so convinced he was going to keep trying, gave it away, and he got an assist from it. Like he just fooled everybody, and then they pumped Detroit though. Like it was a massacre. Nothing that Grace could stop. Absolutely nothing.
No, he's not much of a starter.
Yeah, but it was.
I would like to ask a question. It got deleted off the notes, but is Patrick Kane the greatest American hockey player of all time?
How can you say he's not?
It's what I mean. I know some people, there's a lot of liberal-minded people that are all against him because of what he's done off the ice, which a lot of that's in question. I don't want to hear it. But
I'm not asking you if he's a good human.
I don't care about what the human
American
being is.
Player.
Patrick Kane as a hockey player, I can't think of anyone that would be above him in terms of greatest of all time as an American.
No, especially to have the awards that he has, you know what I mean? And to have but is Brett Hull not American?
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
So that would be one I think that
I think that's the conversation probably. I think you're right.
I can listen to an argument for sure.
No, he's Canadian. Or it says Canadian American. He played for Team USA, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he played for Team USA.
But he was born in Belleville.
Nice. I would want to play for Team. No, I'm just.
So I mean, it's a mixed bag. Yes, I think you consider him American.
I'm always gonna be biased though. I feel because I still see what Patrick Kane has not only done. His junior highlights, amazing.
Yeah.
And he played 1 year there, and then went to the Blackhawks, made an immediate impact, right? Like that's why they got the contracts they did after they won the cups.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were still making no money, and they won all their cups, and then they got paid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great the way that he did turn his hockey game around in a sense, though, right? Like I feel like he's not the same kind of arrogant player that you saw when he first walked in.
Yeah,
the
heartbreaker Sally and all that.
Yeah, and I'll give a lot of credit to Taves as well, who kind of came in and said, "Look, we're going to win cups, and let's do this properly in the season, and we'll train, and we have the talent to do this for sure."
Yep.
And he's got some off ice stuff, but there's a lot of people that do who we don't hear. Technically, sure. Austin Matthews has some off ice stuff. Yeah. Are we still going to discredit him and how great he is?
Some people do, and I you know what? I'm not going to disrespect you if that's your opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion on that. I don't agree with it personally. I think a lot of the Patrick Kane stuff is interesting. I don't really want to go down that road. But if you're going to take a look at the player himself and just what they were as a hockey player, I think you just leave everything else out of it and look at the fact that he was the greatest. Honestly, looking at the numbers, I think he's the greatest American hockey player of all time.
Yeah,
even Brett Hull. So Brett Hull scored 741 goals in 1,269 games. Kane hasn't even reached 1,000 yet. He's at 400. He probably won't catch him in goals. Kane's got 1,057 points. Brett Hull was sitting at 1,391. There's a chance he catches him by the time he reaches.
I'm also now that we're talking, I'm also thinking Mike Modano might be a big name up there.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good career.
Yeah. I was trying
I don't know.
Adam Oates was really good assist. Well, he was American, right? Am I wrong? But like, I don't know if his numbers are there.
You're really pushing my knowledge there.
I could have sworn he was American. That's the heartbreak. I
I'm
totally forgot about the lack of 1,500 games for Mike Modano because Babcock screwed him out of it.
Right.
Did you just get darker?
I think so, actually. I don't know why. I didn't get any darker.
Oh, there you go. That was weird.
I'm dimming the lights. I'm setting the mood for what I'm
Mike
about to say.
Modano hit 1374 in 1499. So that's easily catchable for Kane, too. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's at least a discussion to say that he could be the greatest American.
I just think that the resume, if you kind of were to just say the accolades that each player got and then were to tell me based off that, like, yeah, Patrick Kane would be number one. He's got scoring titles. He's got championships. What more does the guy need?
He's done it all. I don't really know.
He's done it all. He's truly done it all.
He could have another Hart Trophy on his fucking resume by the end of the year.
Right. If he continues on this run.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Kudos to him. 400.
Yeah. Shout out 400 goals. That's big. Yep. I love it. We can move on to the North Division because it seems to be the talk of the hockey world right now. Let's talk about the divisions in general. Do you think it's boring with just this division play? I don't think so, but I've heard the conversation.
I don't, and I do. Like, for me, what I've seen sometimes, especially in the Edmonton series, like, when you play, local league, like house league, and you're in this loop, and you got the one team that's here,
and the rest of them.
You got the 5 or the 6 teams that are here, and you got the 7 team that's there. Okay, when you're going up against that team 1, and you're one of these middle teams, you usually get pumped.
Yeah.
Because you're already walking in going, nah, we're not going to win this. They're so up there. And that's kind of what I think we're getting from that division. Like, the Vancouver loss last night, absolutely. Like,
it sucks.
Good on Vancouver because now we can't be up here boasting like, just swept this series and now took them, right? Like, so it's not boring.
They're gonna lose games. That's fine. You can lose to teams like Vancouver.
And that's fine. But no, I don't think it's boring because you're also building so many more rivalries. You're building, like, this tension is starting to boil over now.
Yeah.
Like, there are things happening on the ice, off the ice. Like, there are things going to be.
There's wars every night.
Especially when playoff pushes come along and you need to be the top 4 teams in your division. There's going to be some brutal stuff going on.
Okay, here's the thing with the North Division specifically, too. Yes, the Leafs are significantly better than the rest of the competition in that group, and they are probably the only elite team in the North in terms of like contenders. But like, that's something we just found out about halfway through. But
they are the only elite team in the division.
Right.
They have the goaltending,
but they
top to bottom. That's now
they're the only
itself.
Complete team in the division.
This is what I'm saying. But that's what
I wouldn't say they're the only elite team. Like, the Oilers should be
elite team. The Oilers are not elite as
the
long
Oilers
as
should be an elite offensive team.
No. Okay, but that's not an elite offense. Team.
You're right. They don't. No other team is a complete.
No team in this division checks the boxes the way that the Toronto Maple Leafs do.
I would argue that Winnipeg is one defenseman away from being the Toronto Maple Leafs, personally, because they have a better goalie and their offense is comparable.
Okay, but they're not playing the way that the Maple Leafs are either. They're not winning the way that the Maple Leafs are.
Because I think we have a better coach and a better GM that put together a better team.
Right. This is what I mean. The Maple Leafs are the only elite team in this division. That's it. That's fine. Like,
Now, I've learned one thing in the last couple weeks, and that's to be careful what we say about the Oilers. Because Oilers fans are lunatics.
Okay, but can we clarify? We are not saying that Connor McDavid is not the best player. Hang on, listen to us. We are not saying that he is not the best player or arguably one of the best players. We are saying that if you gave us a duo of the Eminem or the Draisaitl and the McDavid, the combo there, we're not taking that.
Probably going with these two. That's what I mean.
We're
Like,
taking what you got. Like,
even in my debate with McKinnon and McDavid, I'm not saying McDavid can't play hockey. I'm saying I personally, as a human being who's watched hockey for 24 years of my life, think that Nathan McKinnon is just a little bit better than the second best hockey player in Connor McDavid.
Like, I'm going to unrelate myself though to your comment. Your comment of him being a third line center though. I'm gonna
No, I think John Tavares gets pushed down to the. I don't. That guy read it wrong.
Okay.
I think John Tavares that would push John Tavares down to third line.
Okay.
But
because when I read that, then
that guy just like twisted my words and he's just like, you think McDavid? I'm like, no, I don't think McDavid's a third line center. He's the first line center on every team in the league except Colorado, and even then he might push over to the wing. Like, no. But
no,
like,
you would push McKinnon to the wing. Come on.
Maybe. I don't know. McKinnon, they both suck at draws, but whatever. What was I saying? Oh, Oilers fans. I don't know why I say like any, not even negative thing, just a more positive thing about Nathan McKinnon. And all of a sudden I'm shitting, quote unquote, because someone actually said it, shitting on Connor McDavid. And like I had this conversation and I was talking and we discussed the fact that Oilers fans think Connor McDavid is a god. And I'm like, I don't know if they actually do. Like, they really like him, and I get it. It hurts when you talk bad about your players. Then someone goes out and comments, McDavid can walk on water. There is no one like him. I'm like, they legitimately think this guy's a god. I'm like, what?
McJesus is not a joke name.
No, they legitimately call him McJesus for a reason. They think he's the second coming of Jesus. It's frightening. Like, I understand. There's a lot of people that are ridiculous about Austin Matthews. And I think people are a little insane to compare him with McDavid. They're not close. It's not a battle. Austin Matthews, much better goal scorer. But if you come to me and you're like, hey, Austin Matthews isn't top 5 in the NHL. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't need to say you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you have points. Sure. But like, he's not this god that I think is the greatest thing that's ever touched the face of Toronto. Like, who cares if you don't call him top 10? I don't think you're right. But if you want to call him 11th in the league, fine. Go for it. I'm not gonna be that hurt. Oilers fans are a different beast.
That's it. If he is not one,
it's one or you're an idiot. We got called potatoes. Fucking potatoes. Because we said he's number 2 in the league. 2.
To be honest, if you are what you eat, then yeah, I would be a potato for sure.
I'm a big fan of French fries. Maybe it turned me into a potato.
I eat so many French fries, so many chips.
Oh my god!
I'm a potato for sure.
My favorite thing in that entire discussion too is the quote unquote. I had it 8 times. Leon and Connor don't play together. It's just straight up not true. They played 60.87% of their time together last year. They were together more often than not last season. This season, a little less. I'll give you that. You know
what you didn't see this series?
Mm-hmm.
Is McDavid and Draisaitl citing for anything positive.
No, I don't even think they played, let alone played together.
I don't even think they tried.
I love this guy. This is going to hurt Oilers fans, and I'm sorry. But if you're the best player in the league, you shouldn't get shut out 3 games in a row by 2 backup goalies and a guy that came off an injury. Sorry. You just shouldn't. I apologize if I offended your Bible. That is the Edmonton Oilers. But it's just straight up fact. I mean, you have nothing left to come at me with. How are you? Goodbye. The Oilers suck. Transitioning to them. They're not legit. They're not a legitimate team. No. They have 2 guys, and when you shut those 2 guys down, they suck. Mikko Koskinen is terrible.
Oh, dude, it was bad. Whoever was in Tuesday night, I can't remember, but Leafs had 2 goals on 2 shots.
That was Koskinen.
That game was over when it started, right.
There was one point where they didn't update the shot counter, so they had 2 goals on 1 shot. It was hilarious.
But can I just say, like, it really doesn't matter who's in the net because neither of them are making a save.
No. Mike Smith has looked better this year. I'll give him that. But he's not a good goalie.
Mike Smith still has this weird...
Also, fuck Mike Smith. Like, what? This guy's a clown. Like, first of all, Zach Hyman gets pushed into him on one play, and he skates behind the net and punches Ilya Mikheyev in the face for some reason. Like, relax. And then 2 games later, or a game later, whatever it was, fucking Nuge comes from Timbuktu to just full-on tackle Zach Hyman into you again. And you take a penalty by punching him in the head like a goddamn clown. Like, you're a goalie. Relax. Playing net. Jesus Christ. You suck.
He has always been like an overly emotional goalie.
Just
though,
way
man.
too much. Like, do your job. You don't do a good job of it. Relax, sit in the net, and make some fucking saves. Jesus.
But they almost look like they're having the same issues that the Leafs had, you know? That there's two names, there's three names maybe that can produce, and then after that it's just a bunch of underproducing, underwhelming productivity.
James Neal, who used to be good at some point in his career, but not anymore.
No, you signed Zach Cassian long term. Like,
that contract
what?
Is the worst. The worst. For what reason?
You brought in Tyson Barrie for, I think, more money than
he was cheap,
the Leafs spent, no?
He's $3.
I thought he was like $4 million.
Was he $4 million?
Okay.
But like 1 year, who cares?
What did he show you last year?
Not much.
What did he show you last year?
I'm not gonna rip on Tyson Barrie. He's got a lot of points this year, which is what he's supposed to do. But
you're Edmonton. This is what I'm saying. You're Edmonton.
You need a guy that can play defense. We talked about this on the other podcast the other day. They have 6 defensive or offensive defensemen and Adam Larson. That's it. And
Ethan Bear and Evan Bouchard are lost in front of their net. They can't find anybody.
No.
Like, you could put Waze and Google Maps on, speaking to them in all languages, and they would still not be able to figure out how to find somebody in front of the net.
You got MapQuest? They're reading their MapQuest.
Everything.
To try and
everything. They could have, in the NFL, they could have the fucking headset right to their ears.
They put the headset in them.
The dude is right behind you. Like, literally just turn around, and they would still not be able to find them. That's how bad it is.
No. And I get it. This is what the Leafs have been for 3 years. I understand. I get the hurt and how it feels. But you know what? The Oilers have bashed us for so long. I am so here for just ripping on the Oilers. It's like they came into that series too because they were 6 points down, I think it was. They had a chance to tie us at top of the league. And now, no, because it was 4 points because they could have pulled ahead because they're now 10 points back. Because you couldn't pull off a single win in that series. Like, don't act like you're a part of the good teams in this league. You have the
only line.
You have 2 guys that are elite, and the rest.
And the only line that actually did anything was the Nuge, Draisaitl, Yamamoto line, which they went back to in the third game.
They were
because they were doing nothing, and they got 1 goal to Toronto's
13 in that series.
But what, 6 game in the last game? 6-1 win.
6-1, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 goal to their 6.
13-1, they outscored them with 2 backup goalies. Also, I have a really cool stat on that. First of all, we didn't even mention the fact they were missing Austin Matthews for 2 games of that series.
Right. You know who had as many points as Austin Matthews did?
Connor McDavid.
Yeah. You know who played 2 more games than Austin Matthews?
No. Funny, before last night's game, Leaf backup goalies this season had a .946 save percentage, and we're 6-1-0 on the year. Wow. They're now 6-2-0 because Hutch took the loss last night. But .946. 2 straight shutouts from backup goalies, one of which was coming off an injury, one of which last year could not figure out where the net was.
And none of those shots that they faced were relevant. Like, there was, I think, maybe 5 within a game that tested them.
Yep.
Every other one was just plain as day, out by the boards.
They're not high danger.
On net, try to get a rebound. No.
I think that someone in that Edmonton organization needs to take a step back and realize they have absolutely nothing and do something about it. Because they're not in a position where they're going to waste Connor McDavid's career because they have no assets around him that give me any sort of hope that they can win hockey games.
You're able to compete because of the two of them.
Yeah,
you're
going to look good for time.
You're able to win series because of Connor McDavid. You're able to scare opponents because of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. What you will not be able to do is to take on any legitimate Stanley Cup contender because they are going to have what you have and then some. Yeah. If you're telling me that they sneak their way into the finals and they take on Tampa right now, you think that if they were to sneak their way to the finals and take on Tampa, not a fucking chance. It would be 13-1 in the game. It wouldn't even be 13-1 in the series. It would be 13-1 in the game.
Your golden
That's how
boy
good
got
they are.
shut down by Justin Hall. Justin Hall dreams of playing Connor McDavid for some reason too. It's wild.
Oh my god.
The guy is his worst nightmare.
up
It's
to it.
hilarious. I
Steps up
guarantee
every
Connor
time.
McDavid's going to sleep at night dreaming or having nightmares of Justin Hall and Zach Bogosian just stopping him on every single rush, because I don't think he's ever been shut down like that before, and it was insane to see.
No. And I think he came out and said like they game planned well, but you got
the game plan is shut down 2 guys.
They
you don't even really have to
man.
do much to dry.
Watching that game, the Leafs move their feet every single play. Like as much as we rag on Mikheyev for not being,
oh my god, his foot
dude,
race.
I think he's faster than McDavid.
It's close. It's damn close. He won that foot race from the blue line to this face-off dot in the far end. I think I would love to see them do the race together.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to,
he's not
really. I'm not trying to drown your boy here,
Edmonton fans.
I'm not trying to kill the Oilers. I'm just saying he might be faster.
I'm not saying he's a better hockey player.
Not better. He's not better. That doesn't mean Ilya Mikheyev is now the best player in the NHL.
Don't take offense to your god here, but he might not be as fast as Ilya Mikheyev.
Might have got caught. You know what happens when you're the top dog?
Yep.
You bring on competition.
Yep.
And you set the bar to be beat. And the bar
Toronto
always
said we got it. On the other side of that, I would just like to be the first one to say, what was that? Last Friday, I brought up a young man, 24-year-old, by the name of William. Last name Nylander. Better known by Willie Styles. I may or may not have went on a ginormous rant about how we need to just shut the fuck up about William Nylander's game. And look at me go, because this man is buzzing ever since then. And he looks great in his own end, and if you don't think so, you're not watching the game anymore, because you're just running off of dead narratives that are just straight up not true. I had someone comment last night and say, oh, he doesn't go in the corners and he can't play defense. In the 7 minutes before, in between that comment and when I read it, I heard William Nylander and great defensive play in the same sentence 3 times in 7 minutes. So you're wrong. The guy has, 5 goals in the last 6 games? Something like that, I think it is.
Absurd.
He's cruising. He's unbelievable offensively. He's looking like a more complete player now. He's just stripping guys in his own end. He turned the puck over last minute at the blue line, decided he fucked up, turned around, caught him at the other blue line, took the puck and passed it back up. Like, come on. You want to call him soft? Fine. You're wrong, but fine. Just watch him play for 10 minutes and tell me he's the same player you think he is, because he's definitely not. And if you still think so, stop watching hockey because you're not paying attention.
Is it weird to say that these guys are now finding, like Marner, Matthews, and Nylander are finding more success through defense, through offense style? Mm-hmm. Like, they are playing such a great two-way game that it's just transitioning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're able to get back and then start plays that
opens up a lot of ice.
Yeah, and it's crazy because then they also realize, like, this ice isn't that big anymore. These guys are faster. They're taller. Mm-hmm. They're longer. Their skating is better. That ice is probably half the size to them, like, that we would feel. Mm-hmm. They get up and down it so fast. And going back in your own end now, especially if you kind of hang above your own blue line and you quickly get back and up the ice, my God, you're the third man in and you've got everything.
Yep.
Players can snipe from out there. Matthews has shown he can nip about
score
anywhere he wants.
Yep.
Dude, give him the puck. And that's what he's doing now. He's transitioning the game. And then you know what he gets to go do? Get on the bench, take a drink of water, get back out there, do it again.
Take a deep breath, slug some water, get out there and do it again. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where it comes from, but, like, people watch hockey with, like, a different lens, because, like, once you get one narrative stuck in your head, you just kind of, like, roll with it. And I think the William Nylander can't play defense or isn't good defensively or doesn't go in corners thing started, like, that year he signed the contract, and he was terrible. As one of the biggest Nylander fans there is, he was terrible. But, like, ever since then, watch him play. He's in the corners a lot. He's digging around and getting pucks a lot. So I don't know where this comes from.
How many players do you know who have signed, let's say, a $10 million contract, because that's technically what he was getting.
Making that year, yeah.
Yes, so signed that, started halfway through the year, and came out successful.
Not many.
Like,
Mitch
not
didn't
many.
do it.
Right.
It's just the
And
lack
now
of
he's here,
defense
and like
there.
that's fine, dude. He's fucking he's mid-20s, and
Mhm.
we're already writing him off like the career's done. We should trade him. Like the NHL is forever changing.
For
Players
zero
are
reason.
forever changing. Like you can have a hot year, you can have a bad year, you could have a great year, you could just be average. Like it, you go through it. You go through the motions. And writing off William Nylander already for the dollar amount that you
It's
have.
just straight up incorrect. Like he's not. He's doing nothing wrong.
What more could Leafs fans get out of for that money? You know what I mean? Whether you split that into multiple players, whether you put that into one player, what more are you wanting to get out of for that dollar amount?
Would you like us to spend that money on Jeff Skinner? Because he's making a significant chunk more than what Willie is, and he has 1 assist and does nothing. He's been a healthy
Hasn't
scratch.
played in like forever.
Like, come on, it's just a joke.
It's crazy. I can't believe it.
It's so fun. Yeah. But the other side of that, the other thing I wanted to talk about with that, like people just watching this and like you just hop onto a narrative, I find. Like the Willie thing is one, like the whole defense thing, and people hop on the narrative because it circulates in the media. But then the other one that I feel like has just been around is like the only reason that the Leafs are successful is the North. Come on. Like we're going to act like, yes, the North isn't a fantastic division. I think the East is the best division in hockey. You're going to come to me and tell me that the Central and the West are good divisions?
I don't even think that this is truly because of the North. I think this is the Leafs like
figuring it out.
To be honest, man, and when I watch Boston games, I don't think I'm actually that afraid. I think the Leafs would match up incredibly well against Boston because like Boston right now doing well, somehow doing what they always do, just next guy up. We're still going to be there. You know, we lose Chara, we lose Krug, 2 defensive anchors, and yet we're fine. We can continue on, right? But I don't think that if they were to play the teams like, you know, Toronto every single time that they would in those high-intensity games, that they're going to have the same ability to bounce back or to be resilient. I think that we would absolutely dominate them.
Yes.
It's a totally different team, man. Wayne, the things that Joe Thornton and Wayne Simmons, when healthy, are doing to this team and bringing to this team, there's no more call-ups when they're not injured. There's no more messing around with the lines. Like, this is it. This is our team. And for the first time in how long the Leafs have that.
Yes.
That this is our team. We do not need to move lines around. You were with you. You're there. Everyone find your buddy. Let's go. We're putting you here. We can sub you out there if so-and-so gets injured. But, and like.
Go ahead. No, keep going.
Man, just TJ Brody, too.
Yeah. Dude, every move they made.
What he does will never show up on the stats. Like it will never show up.
God, no.
Because that's how great he is at doing his job.
Yeah. The greatest games that TJ Brody plays are the ones where you don't notice him. If you don't hear TJ Brody's name all night, he played a phenomenal game. And it's so many times this year. He's been the best defenseman on this team, maybe Jake Muzzin. But it's 1 and 2 right now, like 1 and 1A between these two guys. Because what he can do on that back end and how that supplements Morgan Riley is incredible. The way he can get back and break up passes and do things like that, it's unbelievable.
When I worked in the rinks and we had a saying, no news is good news.
Yeah.
That's TJ Brody.
Exactly what TJ Brody is.
Is good. That's it. That's it. Yeah. And like he's giving Morgan Riley the defensive partner that he's needed and the ability to be more of Morgan Riley's game. And even, you know, Austin Matthews is doing that. Mitch Marner's doing that. William Nylander's doing that. Like all those guys are chipping in now, coming back and helping out this defense so that they're able to jump up and to explode the way that they're meant to and still have 2 guys back at all times or still have all bodies back to stop the play. Like they look phenomenal. And I hope that this is honestly a run. I could see this being a run that brings them in to the finals because I don't think that any team is going to pick up momentum that they do.
No. Can I make a statement that's probably going to get me yelled at on TikTok?
So we're just going to cut that.
Ready for this? We can clip the shit out of this. This is going to be really fun.
We're going to clip this.
Yeah. The Toronto Maple Leafs are good enough to win the Stanley Cup this year. I think they could be, right now, as we sit, the favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm not.
You are.
Tell me why. Give me a reason.
Because there's Vegas.
Okay. Vegas has to play a lot of teams before they get into that Final Four.
I'm aware, but Vegas
might not get through Colorado before they get to that Final Four.
Vegas isn't going to get through Colorado. Vegas has beefed up. Vegas has proven that they are able to make it deep into series and really push teams. And I just don't know if Toronto has been able to face that level. Like, each round is going to get incredibly harder, whether it's North Division, this division, that. And like, what is going to be even harder now is you are going to jump to play against teams you haven't played all year.
In the third round. You get 2 rounds of beating teams that you've destroyed all year long.
But that's where it is, right? We have already said that Toronto's making it through the first 2 rounds. I fully believe that. I'm not even worried about round 1, round 2. If they don't make it through, then you were not meant to win. Absolutely. Like, if you even struggle a little bit, like, you could lose. I'm a total of about 4 games, I think, in that first series.
Sure.
Or in that first 2 rounds.
I don't think you should be walking through those 2 rounds. And I honestly
you've seen these teams, you've done this.
Outside of Vegas, Tampa scares me a little bit. Tampa's got Vasilevsky, and he can just win you games by accident.
And Tampa's defending. They lost Cooch for sure. Big heartbreak.
They might get him back for the playoffs, but
right.
So you get Tampa worries me a little bit. I'm not scared of Boston. Personally, like, they're not the same Boston that we've seen.
But you don't
I'm not scared of Vegas. I'm not scared of Vegas. I'm sorry. They're just they don't have enough up front that scares me. Like, they can outscore Toronto, and their defense is comparable to what the Leafs have been this year. They just have the goaltending, which the goaltending hasn't been there in the last couple playoffs.
Okay, they have the goaltending, but they also have the experience on the Leafs.
Okay.
They have the players like Alex Pietrangelo winning a cup and bringing that into Vegas is going to be huge.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They just have a bunch of guys, and like, for some reason, man, Max Pacioretty is a Leaf killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, and he's continues to shock everybody. Exactly. And now you got to play Mark Stone again too, who has Leaf experience in Ottawa.
Sure.
Right?
Not this.
He's seen them. Not this exact Leaf team, but
I don't like. None of these teams look like what the Leafs look like right now. Like, they're just an absolute juggernaut. They don't have the offense that the Leafs have, comboed with the fact that the Leafs just don't give up danger chances, ever.
I like how we don't. Not even talking about the the 4th division there. With like Florida.
I'm not worried about Florida. Tampa's the only team in that one that's like, yeah, they could beat you.
Well, I guess there's Tampa. Yeah, sorry.
I'm not worried about Florida. I'm not worried about who the hell else is in that.
I'm trying to think of which one.
Come on, Carolina's not that legit.
We didn't touch on the East though. Or no, yeah, we did. Yeah, so who we like? You're not
East
worried
is
about?
Good. No, East is good, but they're going to kick the shit out of each other all year long. They're not going to be ready to go come playoff time. The top 4 teams in there are going to beat the hell at each other right through those first 2 rounds, and then I don't think that team makes it through the 3rd round.
Okay, man. Vegas has Vegas in 19 games has only lost 5 games, and 4 of those were regulation, but they're 14-4-1, and like, their goal differential is plus 20.
Their point percentage is still lower than the Leafs. And they're not playing anyone good either. I think they played 1 series against.
They're playing Colorado. They're playing Minnesota.
Minnesota. This is what I mean. We're talking about Minnesota like they're a good hockey team this year. They added Kirill Kaprizov. That's it.
Toronto's not really playing much outside of Winnipeg.
I don't disagree with you, but we can't act like Vegas is out here playing juggernauts that are just the reason they're just trampling through these teams. They're just getting through these teams too.
Vegas is not in the East, okay, but
no, they're not. They're in the West or the Central.
No, I know, but I'm saying Vegas is not in the East. Like, you're right, they're not playing.
No, they're not going to have to get slaughtered.
Those big teams, but still, like, Vegas is scary.
They don't scare me because they're rather inconsistent most of the time, and I'm not worried.
Inconsistent? How are they inconsistent?
Because they'll pop off for like a stretch and then they just fall apart for like 2 weeks at a time. They lost to the Ducks. They lost to the Ducks.
Dude, it's the Ducks.
Yeah, it's the Ducks. That's what I mean.
That's one of those Vancouver losses. Leafs just lost to Vancouver. They're not good.
Vancouver was in the playoffs last year. The Ducks haven't been in 4 years.
Vancouver got gutted of all their great players.
2 guys. They lost Tanev and they lost Stetcher and they lost Markey. 3 guys.
You lost your balls and your heart and your toe.
They still have their core. Where's the 2021? Their core still there. They still have Petey, Brock,
their heart was Tanev. Their balls were Markstrom.
The heart and soul was Markstrom, but Demko's been great. So, who did they lose to?
Is not. You can't say they're great when they're sitting.
Vegas has lost to Arizona, Anaheim.
Dude, you can't say they're great.
They're 2-2 against Colorado this year.
Okay.
Like they're going through a 7-game with Colorado, man. Like they're not. It's not like they're gonna walk in and be ready to go for that final. They're okay. They're fine. They're not. I'm not worried about Vegas.
You keep your okay, and I'm worried about Vegas.
I'm not worried about Vegas. I'm worried about Marc-Andre Fleury because that guy can just win series apparently, but I'm not worried about Vegas. Where are we at? Are we done in the NHL? Oh, no, we're not. No, the Canadians. We went through so much of the North, and I didn't even mention this trash organization. They fired their goalie coach in the middle of a game. Didn't say anything to Carey Price. Didn't talk to him about it, which I get. You don't have to, but like, he's been there so long, and he's his goalie coach realistically. So they fire this goalie coach in the middle of a game. For what reason?
Would you say that that's better or worse than when Florida left Gerard Gallant outside and told him that he has to find his own way home? What would you say that's worse?
I'd say I think the Gallant thing was definitely worse. But like, what is firing the goalie coach going to do for you? Is it going to de-age Carey Price? Like, Carey Price just isn't good because he's played a lot of hockey and he's had to carry that franchise for 15 years.
Dude,
it's not because he needs a goalie coach.
They're continuing the trend of one bad move after another. It was bad to spend $102 million in the offseason. It's bad to fire your coach and the what was your interim head coach.
Yep, what was supposed to be the next coach.
Right. So, and then what you do is you then mid-game fire somebody. Like,
fire a goalie coach, mind you, who, let me pull up the numbers on him. Jake Allen currently has, where did he go here? Is this last year? Oh, it might be last year. Can't find it. Fuck. Jake Allen has a 9, what's the numbers on him? There he is, 921. He's got a 921 save percentage. You're telling me the goalie coach is the reason? Like, you fired a guy that has Jake Allen looking like a starting goaltender again?
I want a 950.
Like, oh my God. How much better are you going to get?
Not acceptable.
You can't fix Carey Price. He's old. He's run out. Like, that's all it is. It's like, I understand Carey Price used to be the best goalie in the NHL, but he doesn't have it anymore.
But you hasn't had it for 3 years. For Jake Allen. Montreal traded for Jake Allen
for a reason.
For this.
For this reason. And he's been great. And they fire their goalie coach. I'm just like, there's one man that needs to go in that organization. And he's the man that keeps doing all the firing. Like, what in the actual fuck?
Oh, he'll be next. He's got to be next.
I don't know if he will. They love him. Montreal fans seem to love him. He made all these moves. We're great. We're a juggernaut. Like, I'm just...
We brought in Jake Allen and Josh Anderson. We love the JA.
They spent a quintillion amount of dollars in the offseason.
We love the JA combination. Let's bring back Jason Arnott. Jason Arnott, come back. Woo!
I know him.
I know.
Yeah.
Can we say friend of the show? Friend of a friend of a show?
Friend of the parents of the show?
Friend of the parents of the show.
Yeah. I'm Montreal, man. I'm sorry.
You know who else is in some real tough times? In the North Division as well.
Mm-hmm. Calgary?
Oh, those Calgary Flames have done what they always do and go back to Daryl Sutter to get them out of the hole.
Yeah. Just go to what doesn't work. Apparently,
why is this every team's go-to? So it seems to me that if your name's,
if you're a Sutter,
if you're a Sutter, if your name's Lindy Ruff, or if you're apparently like a
Ken Hitchcock. Ken Hitchcock's one.
Ken Hitchcock, yep. I guess Mike Babcock could
Yeah.
start his role.
If he gets back, it's the Babcock thing too. Like,
Right.
why?
So
There's so many guys. Is it just because of COVID?
Calgary really that bad? Like, have they been?
They're bad.
I think that they
I don't
have
really get the
more.
firing personally.
Right.
Also, kind of scumbag move. They had what's his name? Jeff something, wasn't it? Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward go out and do his press conference and let him talk about, oh, we got to trust the process and we're going to get better here and we're starting to look better in the process and this and that. He did his press conference. After that press conference, they call him in and, hey, you're fired. Like, come on, man. Just don't send him out there for the press conference. Or like
that was awful. Well, I feel like then though you know that something's up. You know?
But like, who cares?
A slime ball move.
That's a scummy move to be like, he's going out there talking about how he's ready to help this team go move forward in the future and be better, and he thinks they're looking up, and then you're just like, yeah, goodbye.
I just think Calgary has some internal problems. You know, they were definitely voiced, especially when the Leafs Calgary fiasco tipped off. Yeah. And, Matt Tkachuk slams the door, runs back to the room, and apparently fires up on the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the team says, settle down, right? Mm-hmm. And that right there kind of shows that your team's not there supporting you. And, you can be on side A or side B, but the fact that there's sides in general is a bad indication that there's something going on.
Yep.
So I think that, I don't think that firing a coach and bringing in a new – like for me, though –
you think that's the problem in Calgary?
But is he not required to take 2 weeks off now, or
I don't know? Where is he? If he's coming from Canada, he doesn't have to. But.
No, I thought he was like an advisor to Anaheim or something. Like he was in a role as an advisor to something, like to some team in the States.
Maybe I don't know.
Like so now you're going to be coachless for 10 days,
mm-hmm.
or he's going to come in. And,
I don't know how that's going to work.
Like what are we halfway yet? Almost?
I think so.
For some teams?
24 games. Not quite halfway yet, but close to it.
Okay. But, we're close. We're
close. We're closing in on the halfway point.
So this coach is going to have to come in and change it up and not only figure out what other teams are doing, but figure out what his own team's going to do.
I don't know.
If you do that, hats off to you. Hey, good job,
cheers, man. You did a great job. You brought in the old man that worked.
Hey, how about you go look at Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau, who apparently have decided to take the last 2-3 seasons off.
Maybe there's.
Remember when you had 4 players who had 50 points? Remember when you had 4 players who had 50 points?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Nope.
So long ago.
They're not. They're just. I don't know. It's tough. That team. I don't know. They need to figure that out. I don't understand why you're going back to the same well over and over with the coach and just.
You got the goalie you wanted. But you got the goalie you wanted. Right.
Hurt,
at one point, you were putting out Cam Talbot.
Oh God.
And now you're not.
Yeah, Mike Smith.
Right, he's hurt. But you got the goalie that you wanted. Right, Mike Smith.
It's rough.
But you got the goalie that you wanted.
Yeah.
That was the point.
You have a legitimate starting goaltender in the NHL, and you still can't figure it out. So.
It's.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Do we have any other teams in the North to rip on? Or I think, hey, Sens are great. We have nothing to rip on with them. Good job, Ottawa. I'm proud of you.
Way to be the Sens.
Crazy.
Way to just be the Sens.
They're so much fun to watch. I hate it.
Winnipeg, too, I guess. Winnipeg, way to take over second.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Good job.
They're a good team. I appreciate the hell out of them. I think that's it in the North, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ripped on everyone else. Want to talk about baseball? Because the Jays are back. The Jays are back.
Guess who's back?
I can't really tell because I haven't been able to see them because apparently Rogers just doesn't want to broadcast anything.
Apparently spring training is like a real tight club to get into.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Apparently it's one of those things you just had to be there, one of those type of situations, because I have no idea actually how everything's gone in spring training. I've seen highlights here and there, and I watched the only game that's been televised. But from what I hear, some guys are doing good things, and some guys I don't know because I just don't know what they're doing. I know that George Springer had a hit in his first at-bat, so that was cool. I didn't actually see it, but I saw the little guy on MLB.com when you watch the game day thing.
Yes.
And then it's a single.
And
so
he got
all right, cool.
I love that.
I don't know what it looked like, but I know he did it. Lourdes had a home run. In the game that I did watch, all the big names looked really good. Like they were seeing great pitches, and Cavan looked really good. Like he worked a bunch of counts. He looked great. Ripped a double. Rowdy roped a ground rule double. And then since then, I just don't really know what's going on.
That game.
Yeah, he was great. I just don't really know what's happening with the rest of the thing. Steven Matz had a good start. He went 2 innings through 21 pitches, 15 for strikes, had three strikeouts and only 1 hit. So that was nice. It was a decent start. If he's going to be your 4 or 5 guy, you love to see that.
That's solid numbers for 4 or 5 for sure.
Yeah. Semyon Woods-Richardson and Alec Manoah look really good, apparently. I don't know if they look good, but it seemed like they were good because
the little man on the MLB.com looked good.
Yeah, so they look great. Yeah, MLB.com Silhouette did a great job. They both went 2 innings, I think it was. Neither of them gave up a run. I think it was Woods-Richardson that didn't give up a hit, and Manoah had 4 Ks in the 2 innings. So that's great to see out of 2 guys that are in their 20s or young, like early 20s, because
early 20s.
They should factor in to be a part of this team as early as next year, maybe this year if we get lucky.
Which is so great.
But that's huge out of the silhouettes on MLB.com to see them do stuff like that. It's great. I'm just so sick of it, dude. Like, for what reason does this communication company not have the ability to broadcast me spring training games in a season that should be the most exciting season in the past 20 years?
It could be just like a network thing, like some company purchased the rights to spring training.
Nobody has the rights. No one has them. There's nobody broadcasting these games. This is what I mean. Unless the home team broadcasts them, they don't show them. So, like, we played the Phillies the other day. The Phillies didn't broadcast it. We didn't broadcast it, so nobody saw the game. You can't even stream it somewhere.
That's so funny.
I don't understand it.
That's so.
The one team that does do it is the Yankees because they have their own network, and so you get to watch the Yankees game for the most part because the Yankees broadcast it on their own network. It's almost like it would be great if we had a network that owned our team.
Danny Jansen clubbed a home run.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Apparently. Maybe today. I think it was today.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't heard it.
Ryu looked pretty smooth. That's what it says. MLB.com. Thanks. That's what it says. 13-4 over the Orioles.
Oh, well,
that was today. 13-4.
Now, we don't have a lot to say on the Jays because we just haven't seen anything. I can't really say much about what's going on because I just don't know other than the stat line. But from what I've seen out of some guys so far, it looks good. Obviously, we'll have a little bit more to talk about next week. But as it sits right now, the Jays are back. Some guys are doing good. Apparently, the young guys are doing great. And that's all I know. Maybe.
Who for you leads off?
If I'm personally putting the lineup together, it's Cavan. I think they're going to do Springer. But I would put Springer 2. I would do Cavan, Springer, Bo, and then whoever you want in your 4-stick. It could be Vlad. It could be Lourdes. It could be Teoscar. It could be pretty much anybody. But I think that's personally my preferred lineup. What about you?
I would put Springer, to be honest, because realistically, leadoff hitter matters once in the game.
Apparently, he has significantly better numbers hitting leadoff than he does anywhere else in the lineup.
And it's just for me, the experience that George Springer brings to get up to the plate first and to make that pitcher, he could really make that pitcher throw right off the hop and work for it, which is something not that Cavan couldn't, but Cavan is a really big. He's a swing guy, he likes to make contact with the ball. He wants to put in. Does he not? No.
Takes a lot of walks. Takes a lot of walks. Yeah. No. Cavan does like the see pitches.
More highlights that I see him though are pretty.
No, the difference between the two is that George Springer's a legitimate threat, whereas Cavan can hit the ball, but he will work a pitcher endlessly. You will throw 5 pitches in the at bat because he sees everything so well. But he doesn't have that threat that George Springer has where it's you have to make your pitches right from the get-go. George Springer has, I think he's 3rd all-time in leadoff home runs, which is nuts because he hasn't even played that long.
But
it's one of those guys that you're scared of to pitch against right when the game starts, right?
Yeah, I think the experience for me then would be what it is.
It would help.
Cavan being 2 gives him an opportunity. Then gives him an opportunity to hit as well as work them back to back. Like I said, though, it really doesn't matter. Your leadoff guy matters once in the entire game.
The thing too is if George Springer leads off the game with the double, and then you have to face Cavan, you can't really pitch around Cavan because he's going to take the walk and just let Bo hit with 2 guys on, and you don't want to have Bo hitting with 2 guys on with no out.
Cavan's not a slouch on the bags.
No. Neither is Springer. They can both run.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a really – we're arguing about, the most minuscule things here, which is
Yeah.
fantastic this season.
I know.
It's like we
And
can
that's
have these conversations about, do we want this all-star hitting here or do we want this all-star hitting here? I don't
And
know.
that's what everybody
Both work.
feared, and we knew that, right? It's more the pitching that I think we're interested to see what happens, and you don't get any sense of that in spring training, so it's kind of one of those wait and see.
You know who's got the nicest job right now? Charlie Montoyo. Because you know what he has to do? He just has to pull names out of a hat and go, "You're leading off today. You're
I
hitting."
thought you were gonna say Pete Walker gets to just sit up there, see some stuff.
There you go. Good luck, boys. That's like
Right.
it's gonna be great. I'm really excited for what the season is gonna be.
You know who's really
I can
cool
watch
to
some of
listen
this.
to? I know you're never up early enough, but on 590, John Leeper calls in some days
Leeper?
from Skokie.
Tim
Jim
Leeper?
Leeper, sorry. Tim Leeper.
Tim Leeper. You
Do I
got
know
it.
John Leeper? Leeper. They only call him Leeper.
Timmy
I don't
Leeper.
know.
He calls in on
Timmy Leeper.
is it the Good Show or something? No.
The morning show or whatever it is. I
Is
don't
it?
know what it's called.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I've heard some of it, like every now and then. That's what
Leeper. Anyways,
Leap?
calls it
calls
Leap, and he's got the most interesting insight, and just because he's like
He's been
he's
there.
a country boy. Yeah, but he's a country boy. Like
He was
just,
great.
He's giving it to you how he is. He keeps it light, and that's why he works so well on that show.
Mhm.
And no, it's really amazing to hear what he has to say about the team now, especially because like you said, he's been there.
When he was there, they were bad.
They were bad, but
They were
he
bad.
stuck with it.
Yeah.
But they were also good.
They were good for a little bit of time. They were all right.
They were really good.
Yeah, so that's baseball. We really don't have much else in terms of news. Maybe next week we'll be able to actually get into it because we can see what's going on. But as of right now, and the MLB sucks at broadcasting things. I don't really know what else to say. The NFL, J.J. Watt.
Yeah. There's
Fine.
a couple more hot news points than we have here, but
But
yeah.
we spent a lot of time in hockey, so it's tough.
To
J.J.
leave it
Watt didn't sign with the Carolina Panthers. I told him to. He didn't listen. So obviously he doesn't listen to the podcast, which shame on you, J.J. Watt.
I don't think he listened to a lot of people because I don't know about you.
No.
The Arizona Cardinals are kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
They're not because of DeAndre Hopkins, so I get where the connection might have come from, where the the inspiration to choose there to come from. But
They're okay. I don't think they were a top 5 destination in terms of like where you want to go to win a championship. But they're a decent pick. Like obviously Kyler can play. Hop is there.
Yep.
Kirk is there.
Yeah, and you don't know if Larry Fitz is going to come back for another year or not.
Fit.
But I think
Grandpa
it was
Fitz
cool.
is there.
Yeah, but Chandler Jones on the other side. Since 2012, I believe that him and J.J. Watt have the most pressures on QBs.
Okay.
They're like 1 and 2 for getting at the quarterback.
I think they're going to be okay. But
The message that JJ sent to was really cool to Kyler, right? He messages him and he just goes like, "I'm here because I believe in you," right? And to go from a defensive player to reach out to an offensive player who usually you don't see a lot often, and to reach out to him and say, "Look, man, I'm on this.
I'm
team
here because of you.
because I believe that you are gonna get me to where I need to be." Like he signed a 2-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying that it's next
wants
year
this. Yeah,
or
it's
it's the
not
year
like-
after, and
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Let's do this
So,
now. Because
I think that's huge. They have some holes they need to attend to, though, like Patrick Peterson, I'm pretty sure is a free agent, and Kenyon Drake, who also another free agent, right? So they've got some need, and I really think that, as good as Kingsbury's offense is, putting DeAndre Hopkins in the same spot on the line every single time or like 95% of the time is not going to work. You need to put him all over that line and get him in different matchups because he will use and abuse everybody.
Yeah.
You know what won't work? Put him out to the left. Kay's there. They're going to double cover him every single time. You're never going to get him in situations.
Doesn't really matter with him
It
sometimes.
doesn't matter if you're Buffalo.
No.
But you're not always
you
gonna
can
get
triple
him.
cover him if you're Buffalo. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, no, I just think that it was really
Yeah.
they have some, they got some needs for sure.
It was a weird choice. I thought Green Bay had it locked up personally, which sucks. But I thought he would have went to Green Bay, maybe a place like Buffalo. Buffalo apparently was the next option, and that sucks if you're Buffalo. I'm
That's
sorry,
scary
Bills
if you're
fans.
Buffalo. You're so close.
That hurts. But yeah, it's just a weird choice for me. But hey, hopefully he does it well. That guy is a genuine human being. He deserves to win, and I hope they win there, and I hope he's back in the playoffs.
I hope they do something.
Another man, genuine human being, great person, was released today by the Washington football team, Alex Smith, and his one leg. Why?
Just looking to make a culture change. I think he brought.
They don't like winning.
Playoffs.
Yeah, they don't like winning, or
no? I don't think that they're really there. Yeah,
this Heineke kid is okay. Hey, dude, they were disgusting under Alex Smith. They were like 8-2.
Right. But, I feel like they kind of thought that they were at a situation that they couldn't give him the opportunity to win. And he's kind of at that point where he needs to go to a team that he's going to win, And that's what they kind of said. It sounded like more of a mutual agreement than a bitter.
I didn't really look into it. It just seems like a weird.
Right, but it's just, I think they kind of said, look, we're young and we're not going to be able to compete the way that you wanted. Last year was a bit of a fluke because, one division was just ass. And we might not get that again. We might not get that to where a division was just completely
I don't know. None of the
brutal.
teams in that division are getting better. Like
You don't know. And I think that they're giving him the opportunity to go out and just say, hey, if you think you can win a championship in another team, like there are teams with needs out there.
I think the only team that might be better is the Eagles. Other than that, I guess the Giants getting Saquon back might help, but nothing right now gives me hope that they're going to get better.
Okay, but what about the Cowboys?
The Cowboys might lose Dak.
Okay,
I doubt it, but
can you bring in Alex Smith? Can you tell me that Alex Smith won't be a ridiculous quarterback?
He's an upgrade. He's definitely an upgrade over Andy Dalton, but they still weren't good.
No, but that offense should be doing way more, man. Zeke,
absolutely. I don't disagree with you, but it's just
when they stole Lamb, my God.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. They had no reason drafting Lamb, and they did it.
Lamb
Michael Gallup did nothing.
Hands.
Right. But no, they would be ridiculous with Alex Smith back there. I think they need that because to me, when they franchise tag Dak, it kind of took him out of it. That's no security.
No.
That is no guarantee that you are the quarterback of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand why you'd be frustrated, right? It happened the same thing in Earl Thomas in Seattle. He was like, dude, you guys aren't signing me. This is not any way to have a career. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm interested to see if Alex Smith ends up somewhere. I think he played well enough last year to get himself a job. He was really good when he played. But who knows? We'll see.
I think for me, the biggest QB interest right now is Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Have we talked about him yet?
No. So apparently
we have.
Have we? I don't know.
I don't even know if we have. I feel like we've had it's been a rumor for so long. I feel like we mentioned it, but
but apparently he's voiced it, and now Seattle's fielding calls. And I had this debate with my buddy, if you're fielding calls,
he's gone.
Why? Yeah, that to me, if you're the quarterback, you're not fielding calls.
No.
You're shutting it down.
You're not fielding calls in your quarterback unless you're actually
you're looking at that phone and you're going, wrong number, sorry.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not picking it up.
Yeah.
So I think there's something very wrong there, and I would not be surprised if Russell Wilson found himself in some new colors before the start of the season.
Interesting. We have any other NFL news? A lot of little things here and there. But
NFL just needs to stick to your team.
Stop trading and releasing and getting rid of guys. It's way harder to follow.
Stop cutting players to save money. Just fucking take your team. You can't do that anywhere. And you know what you have to do in NHL? You have to buy out their whole contract. You can't just cut.
It's a lot more work than whatever is happening. The NFL's a zoo. It's insane.
Oh my god! Player cut here, cut there.
Final sport, NBA. The Raptors had a bit of a rough week.
Oh,
not game-wise per se, but they lost everybody to COVID, and then game-wise wasn't great either. They beat Detroit, right? I didn't see the final.
No,
they didn't.
No, they got slapped.
Oof.
They got slapped. Oof. Terrence Davis was awful. Awful. Norm led with 36 points. After that, you and I could have done more.
Maybe you're taller than I am. I wouldn't be very successful in the NBA.
I think I get at least 3 points out there, 5 points, a couple rebounds.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a really shitty situation because they're missing.
It's really scary.
They were missing their entire starting lineup essentially.
Yeah. You get slapped by Detroit, and then you make a bit of a push against Boston, but Boston obviously threw the Tatum card out there. You know, in like Pokemon, when you finally just throw your big card.
Or like,
they just
Yu-Gi-Oh, they have the trap cards.
Right.
Jason
that was
Tatum
what it was.
the trap card.
They keep us close, and they just go.
They go, you triggered my trap card. You triggered my Jason Tatum. Yeah.
And that was it. So
it's a rough week for the Rams. Thank
Yeah.
God they're going into the All-Star break, so they get a little bit of time to recover and hopefully be healthy by the time everything comes back.
Yeah, and losing your coach.
Did you watch the All-Star draft? Because I didn't.
I didn't even know they had it. I really don't care.
Either. I don't either. I think the All-Star game is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
I think that it's incredibly dumb. Everybody else is canceled. Everybody else is...
For what reason are you having an All-Star game?
I'll look at who went where, but...
I don't even care, honestly. If you don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. I think it's stupid. I don't understand why they're doing it. I don't even want to give it time because it's just ridiculous. You shouldn't be having a fucking All-Star game right now. It makes no sense. Like, what's it for? Stupid. Hey, we're bi-weekly on our Would You Rather.
We're bi-weekly. I love this.
Woo.
It's my favorite part. Favorite part.
This seems really easy. So we might as well start off with this one. Would you rather have to drive a pink moped for the next 2 years or wrestle an alligator one time?
Pink moped? Why is
Absolutely.
it a bad thing?
Those are not two comparable options.
Have you ever listened to Macklemore? Because I think that pretty much just answers your question right there.
At least it's not a bike. Like on a bike, you got to pedal and use your legs a lot. But like if I'm choosing between a moped or dying, I'm going to choose the moped. Like, I'm not winning a fight against an alligator. That thing's going to murder me.
You don't think so?
No.
Did you know that alligators have I think it's the strongest closing jaw power and one of the weakest opening powers? That's why people can one-hand it. You know what I don't get? Those little crocodile guys that like throw their arms in there and then they're up like shocked when it snaps and rolls.
Like, is it the alligators that can roll too or no?
Yeah, I think it's called a suicide roll.
Yeah.
So they snap. So
that's the thing is like I can grab the mouth, but as soon as they start rolling and jerking me around, I'm gonna let go, and then the sun's gonna be open.
Weird. Terrified of the gators.
I'm not about to fuck with an alligator. Like
alligator.
Like that thought would not cross my mind.
Moped, pink.
The last two ones are just really morally testing, and I don't think we need to do that.
Not feeling morally testing today.
Would you rather be famous in this lifetime or go down in the history books?
Oh, I'd rather go down in the history books.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I think I'd like that.
I think I'd rather be famous now because, like, you get to reap the rewards of that, right? Like, you can do really cool shit because you're famous, and like you go places and do things, and people love you or people hate you. I guess it could be a thing too, but like you're just like well known. I think that's cool, but like history books, like people know your legend forever, but like I don't get to be a part of that, right? You know
I made an impact after. That's how much of an impact I can make.
Sure, I think it's neat, but I think given the choice of the two, I'd rather be famous now so that I can like get the rewards of that.
It's a real character trait.
That is it's very revealing.
Yeah.
Would you rather speak everything in surround sound or have your own entrance theme when you walk in the room?
My own entrance theme? What are you kidding?
That's not even hard. I just wanted to say it.
Okay. When I say entrance theme or when you said entrance theme, what's the first entrance song that came into your mind?
John Cena.
Oh, no, I thought Stone Cold.
Oh, really? That's a good one, too. You know why I think John Cena, though? Have you seen that prank call video where they keep calling the girl?
Right.
And like it's the John Cena theme song, and they're like asking, that I heard that last night, and that was the first thing that came to mind. His name is John Cena. It's so fucking funny.
Did I ever tell you that I met him?
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So funniest thing, I think I'm like 10 or whatever. Okay. My dad works for HMV at the time.
Okay.
And now John Cena, as much as he's a wrestler, he has a rap album.
Oh, right. Yes.
He drops the rap album, and he's supposed to be in Toronto, I think on like Dundas or something, whatever. Mm-hmm. But at the HMV store. So my dad's like, okay, we'll get you there. Okay. Because my dad's in charge. He was like, loss prevention at the time. So he's in charge of security and all that. So he's like, all right, we'll go.
Big man.
Right. Like, we'll go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting there. I go into this like basement underneath the store. and I'm just sitting in this room by myself because my dad's like, "Oh, I gotta go work. Like, I'll be right back." Because I think Cena arrived or something like that.
Yeah.
My dad leaves. He's gone for maybe like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Who comes in the room but John Cena? By myself. Cena rolls in and he just goes, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm just like,
"Hi."
I don't even think I got a word out. I'm wearing my
well, obviously not. You couldn't see him.
No, I can't.
I don't even know how you knew he was in the room.
Dude, I didn't want him to see me.
He's sitting there going, "No."
Dude, but he was so cool. Like, my dad and I just kind of chatted with him. My dad chatted with him. I was there. At one point, he looks at me and he goes, "Man, you're pretty talkative over there." And I was like, man is a unit. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
he is,
yeah. Ripped.
But it was just so funny.
That's
he signed
hilarious.
some things. Oh, it was like and my dad said, he goes, "Oh, I like totally didn't know that he walked in the room without me." Like my dad went one way, Cena went the other way, and then down he comes, and there
That's
I
so
am.
funny. Just
Alone.
That's hilarious. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I'd have my own entrance theme music.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Back to the question. Yes, that would. It's not a tough choice, but like, absolutely, I'd have my own.
If you smoke.
The Stone Cold one's good too. Just like walk.
Yeah. Glass breaks, yeah.
Great.
Or even the Road Dogg. I was a big DX fan, so Road Dogg. Oh, you didn't know? Just
what was the? You remember Crime Time? Did you know Crime Time?
Yeah, it's like
check your rollies. It's Crime Time.
Yeah. It's JTG and
one of them died. Actually, Shad died last year. I think it was. That's sad. Didn't mean to make that sad. But
my wrestling. I'm like up to date with wrestling, right?
I haven't watched wrestling in a long time.
Oh, it's so good.
But it's all over my TikTok for some reason. People talking about it. I'm like, I think it's hilarious. Would you rather be in the Justice League or be an Avenger?
Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Thor fan.
Yeah, me too.
So,
all of my protein shakers are all what do you call it? Marvel based.
Yeah.
Like, Batman's cool. The Flash is cool.
Oh, I love the Flash.
Justice League is like cool, but like the Justice League movies sucked. Like the DC cinematic universe just was not very good.
Maybe
I think it just kind of ruined the superheroes in the DC universe.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I just always liked Marvel better. I think that they would win in any fight. Because then they have the X-Men.
You're right. They're yeah.
They got the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean Marvel has better superheroes, but like I think DC's got some cool heroes, but Marvel's just got better heroes. That's kind of what it is.
They cool.
They cool. Oh Lord, would you rather be waterboarded to death or be electrocuted to death?
Electrocuted, I feel like that'd be easy.
That's a little quicker, right? I would think.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt for
What's the
a
shock?
second or two.
Well, the electric chair, I'm sure you.
Yeah, but like even like the people that get electric chair, they're like and then you die, right? Like waterboarded, you're like that's like drowning, but like without being underwater, that's a nightmare. I don't want anything to do with that.
Couldn't do it.
No. If you owned a time machine, would you rather it be a DeLorean or a telephone booth? So like Doctor Who or Back to the Future?
Back to the Future.
Absolutely. These questions have been really easy today.
Telephone booth would be cool.
It'd
like
be
you
cool.
hop in.
I never got into Doctor Who. I don't know about you.
No, there's 20,000 seasons to get into and 14 doctors, so you could.
I'm good.
I've got 12 timelines, 14 doctors.
The DeLorean's cool. It's a cool looking car.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. Drive around and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Let's go back in time.
I'd rather deal with that doc than Doctor Who.
Yeah. That doc's a bit loony, but
he's
fun.
Him. Yeah.
Would you rather be a famous athlete in the Olympics known around the world or be a famous actor known only in America?
Oh, honestly, I think I'd do the athlete. I'm a sports guy,
Yeah, I'm leaning that way. Basically, what this question is fame or money. Because if you're famous in America and you're like a famous actor in America, you're going to make bank. But if you're an Olympic athlete, you're not making a damn thing. But if everyone knows you, it's kind of like Usain Bolt, I would say.
Oh,
Usain Bolt. Does he make a shit ton of money?
Yeah, he does. He got sponsorships and stuff.
I guess he's got the like. Who's someone that would be in that kind of Simone Biles? Maybe. I'm trying to think of someone that like is a famous Olympic athlete that just didn't really. Apollo Ono was a speed skater that made a lot
But
of.
Andre DeGrasse not technically.
Maybe, but like, do you think he's known worldwide? I'm trying to think of someone big enough that doesn't.
I think he's Canadian, but I don't think he's known like he's known well within the Canadian Olympics, but I don't think he's known well within the
What
Olympics.
is Usain Bolt's? What's that word I'm looking for? Net worth. I'm trying to think of money.
Money. What's Usain Bolt money?
So his net worth is like 90 mil. I don't think that touches a lot of actors. Like, name me an actor just off the top of your head.
I'm sorry. You're upset at 90 mil?
No, obviously not. Like, you're gonna make a decent amount of money, but like, in
Right. So
comparison,
now you have decent amount of money, and you're known throughout the world.
sure. Name me an actor though, just off the top of your head.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, isn't he Canadian?
He makes a lot of
Isn't
money.
he dead?
No, Alec
Who's
Baldwin.
the Baldwin that died?
I don't know.
There's a what's
Not
the name?
Alec.
I'm thinking of Alan Thicke. That's what it was. Oh, okay. Alec Baldwin's net worth is only $60 million. Okay, you know what?
You don't know what you're
I might be pulling into your side of things.
Yeah.
You're right.
Welcome to the team.
Okay.
We get things right on the first try.
What are we talking about if you're like Leonardo DiCaprio though? Like what's his net worth like?
Do you not think that The Revenant was just one giant tale of his Oscar battle?
Yes.
Have you seen The Revenant?
Yeah.
If
I haven't seen the movie, but I know the idea.
Watch it
Yeah.
and just think Leonardo DiCaprio is going for an Oscar this whole movie, and that is it. That is
Leonardo DiCaprio's net worth is estimated to be $260 million. Guy made some money in his career. So, like, I think it depends on what your level of Olympic athlete is. Like, if you're the Usain Bolt, yeah, it's fine. The money's not really that big of an object. Like, it's only $170 million difference, which doesn't. It sounds like a lot, but like to that extent, it's really not. I don't know. I think being an athlete's more fun. Let's just go with that.
It's nap time, apparently. Holy jeez.
Yeah, we're running out of gas. That's not a good idea.
Wow, we skipped over that this time? We're usually right on those.
Would you rather always know when people are lying or always get away with lying?
I think I'd always like to know when people are lying.
Yeah?
I don't feel like I
don't think I would. I don't want to know. Like, if you're lying, you're lying. I
Really?
think that's fine. I mean, like,
I kind of would like to know because then I get to see if people are like, face value, right? So
Sure,
if you tell me something, then I'm like,
yeah. But I feel like I surround myself with enough genuine people that I don't get a lot of people lying to me.
does someone just whisper like lie? And what you're
How
a
does
piece
that
of
work?
So you're a piece of shit. You just lie to everyone. That's what you're saying.
Well, I was
I
like,
like people that lie to me, so I lie to them.
I mean, if I need to get out of something, I'm like, I would like to, like, if I have to get out of work and I'm like, hey, I lost my dog. I don't know. That's a terrible lie. My car broke down. My tire went flat. Here's a picture. I don't know if you've ever used that one. Then I would like to get away with that, right?
I've used the picture of an old car tire, like one that happened, like, years before.
Yeah, our tire. Yeah. No, I think that I think I'd like to get away with lying. Not like I'm gonna go just like tell lies to every human being I know.
You're gonna tell lies.
But if I'm in a situation where I'm like, shit, I need to get out of this, I'd just be like, I flew to space. And they're like, oh, he flew to space.
Bob's pants will be on fire.
My pants are fire. Would you rather have no thumbs or only have thumbs?
I think only have thumbs.
Thumbs are pretty strong, right?
But you know what else?
Well, they're short.
Is that kind of like, yeah, but think about what you'd be able to grab.
Would
I
you
think it
though?
would
Like,
give me the
you don't
ability
have
to-
like if you compare like your thumb and your middle finger, like you
But
don't
you
have
want no
distinct-
thumb?
but you don't
You
have
want this?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like it's
What are you gonna hold? You
no,
can't
you're
hold
right.
anything.
You definitely need all thumbs because you
You
could.
can't hold anything. You can't even make a real fist. You know, you make this look. Good luck.
I'd have to
No.
have a handle on every single one of my drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. All thumbs is the way to go. That's way too hard. Like it seemed like a tough choice, but like you can't grab shit without your thumb.
Go to right.
Oh, well, I just type anyways. I don't need.
Go to use chopsticks.
That's a good point.
Go to use
Well,
cutlery.
I was gonna say just cutlery in general. I don't think it has to be specific. You'd learn though. Oh, that's
Anything.
that's you do. You definitely need your thumb. We've already
Yeah.
done that one. What? Okay. Would you rather be allergic to sugar or be forced to wear ponchos 24/7? Arriba, bitch! I'm wearing the poncho. Let's go. That doesn't seem
I
that
think we all know
hard.
my answer. I'm going to the poncho.
Yeah, well,
Be forced? That's not forced. What happens if it's not forced?
I'm in it. Let's do it. I'm fucking
I am
allergic to sugar. Like
I volunteer
everything
as
has
tribute
sugar.
for the poncho. Give me the poncho.
Oh, this is a cool one. Would you rather leap tall buildings in a single bound, like Superman in brackets, or be able to run as fast as the Flash? Actually, that says be able to fun as fast as the Flash.
He's pretty funny.
He has fun at rapid speeds. But I'm assuming it's supposed to say be able to run as fast as the Flash.
I'm gonna say run.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Just running at extreme speeds is my dream superpower. It's like a weird one compared to most people, but I would love to move like that, like being that quick. I think that is like my dream superpower. That's so much fun. I think that'd be cool.
Okay.
So that is an easy one for me.
Yeah.
Let's do 3 more. Would you
Folks,
rather?
we just found another thing that we have in common, so that's a real
Look at this. This is
touching
crazy.
moment there.
We're actually. Are you the same superpower?
Oh, dude, Incredibles! I love Dash.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, win that fucking race.
Yeah,
Win
like
that
the
race.
Flash,
Show it.
Dash. I'm trying to think of who else is like a speed. Oh, Quicksilver, and yeah, unreal. Like they're just Quicksilver.
Anybody who has
Seems-
speed is.
Yeah, it's so much cooler than everyone else.
Hmm.
So much cooler. Would you rather be John Lennon or be Paul McCartney?
Paul McCartney, so I could
Yeah, so you're
live
still
through my
alive.
success.
But like, I would argue that John Lennon's name is bigger.
Okay, so this is the question we had before.
So we're kind of going.
We'd rather have fame right now, or,
Right.
and now we flipped.
So I think to stick by that, I would have to go with Paul McCartney. But you
Well,
are
we flipped.
backed yours up. But I think
No.
I'd rather be John Lennon. No, I
We're
mean,
putting
this
the
lived a
person
good chunk of
to
their.
name.
When did John Lennon die? How old was he?
Oh, I don't know. In his 30s, I thought.
John, was he only like 30s?
Dude, they were
Looked like
popular
he was
at
100.
young. No,
Maybe he was 40. Yeah,
40.
yeah, he didn't live much. Never mind. Yeah, I think I got to stick with you. I think Paul McCartney's a better play. Just you do live more. You're like, he's still his name is Sir Paul McCartney.
He was knighted.
He was knighted. He's known
Have you
as
been
Sir
knighted?
Paul McCartney. I've never. John Lennon was
No.
never knighted.
No. You know who else has been knighted? Sir Elton John.
Sure. I wouldn't mind being Elton John too.
I would love to be Elton John.
Here's another fun one. Same idea. Would you rather be Matt Damon or Ben Affleck?
Matt Damon, obviously.
Matt Damon? See, Ben Affleck and I, same chin.
Uh,
Same dimple in the chin. It's about the only thing we have in common, but
they already have the part.
Matt Damon is a better writer. He does cooler cameos. Guy was in Thor Ragnarok as the actor that played Loki. This is the
Yep.
weirdest cameo you'll ever see. He was in
Have you ever
Euro
seen
Trip.
Yep.
The guy that
or
sings
the
Scotty
commercial-
doesn't know.
The commercial with the smart part. He's got a smart part.
Yeah. I know Ben Affleck's a shit dude, but I like him as an actor. I think he's
Really? He won like
Yeah.
a humanitarian award.
Did he?
like,
I've heard
something
lots
like
of bad things about him as a person. But
maybe not a humanitarian award, but he won.
But he does like good things.
Yeah,
he might do good things for the Earth, but apparently not the greatest guy, which is fine. Whatever. But Matt Damon is just a cooler actor, I find.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck. What's Ben Affleck famous for? Realistically.
Daredevil.
Yikes. But like, think about it. Yeah, like, Ben Affleck's been famous since like the 90s. But when you think of Ben Affleck, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
It was Daredevil.
Right. So what?
Let me get it.
But on the flip side, what's Matt Damon famous for? There's a lot. I think
all of the Bournes.
Yeah. Good Will Hunting, I think, is another one.
Right. Good Will Hunting was good.
Yeah. So like Ben Affleck is kind of just like the supporting character in all of his movies.
Oh, Ben Affleck was in Gone Girl. That was a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm. Again, that was like 2010, wasn't it? 2012?
2014.
14.
Yeah.
So
let me look.
I don't know, man. Like Ben Affleck, big name, but I can't off the top of my head. He's an
actor now, though. Or sorry, like a producer or something, like a director.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay and Silent Bob. He was in all those.
Oh, good.
Suicide Squad, obviously. It's Batman.
Right.
He is the new Batman.
You're right.
Although, in the weird way,
actually, he's no longer Batman anymore. It's now Robert Pattinson. So I don't know.
It is or it isn't?
Yeah, no, it's no longer Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck.
No, but I thought in the Justice League movies,
Justice League was Ben Affleck, and then after that, he decided he doesn't want to be Batman anymore.
Oh, so now they cast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Trying to find. We have one more to do, I think, and I kind of want to find a decent one. Have you found anything that Ben Affleck was in that you're just like, that was Ben Affleck?
Jersey Girl.
I think it kind of speaks to him not getting typecasted as anything.
No,
which is pretty impressive because like most actors, you think of like, oh, they were this character.
Yeah, like he's able to kind of do it all, which is fine. He just does it. I don't know. Yeah, he just like Matt Damon. I feel like is the Bourne Supremacy and like Green Zone and stuff like that. Like he was kind of typecasted into that. Like, dude, what was it? There was a funny line. I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was like Hollywood has spent X amount of dollars saving Matt Damon because in every movie Matt Damon is like lost or being like Saving Private Ryan. They're going to get Matt Damon. Whatever the one where he goes to the moon, it was like billions of dollars trying to save Matt Damon.
Funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was so funny to see that because like every movie Matt Damon's in, he's lost somewhere. Yeah, it's good. I gotta see what movies it's in now.
Oh,
so you find your question.
Okay. This one might be all right.
Are you sure this is the closer though?
Like it's good. Maybe we just do one more after this. I don't know. We'll see. If you don't think it's good enough, we'll do another one. Would you rather be able to? Oh God, that's not in English. Be able to read minds, but you get a really bad headache after you use it, or be able to fly, but you're afraid of heights.
What would be the point of flying then?
You can do it if you want, but it's scary as fuck. Also, the actual thing says be able to talk to read minds.
Oh, be able to
talk to read minds to it just doesn't work for English. It says be able to talk to read minds. Be able to talk to read minds, but you get a really bad headache after you use it.
I'm gonna go with the talk to read minds with the headache. I don't want to be afraid of heights and flying. What's the point of flying?
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, this is a much better one to finish off on. Would you rather have huge arms and weak legs or have huge legs and weak arms?
Huge legs.
Yeah. See, there's two sides. Yeah. Like huge legs are way more they're way more useful.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of your power comes from is your legs, right? But
huge
arms are way cooler looking. Like
okay, but have you ever seen those people who like insert the oil in their arms that have like the huge arms that way?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
That's super weird. Yeah, look it up. Look it up afterwards. They're like
it's weird.
Okay, but just
when you look at Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you're not like, God damn, look at his legs. You're like, damn, that man's upper body is a fucking pyramid upside down.
They're not saying your upper body. They're saying your arms. Everything's like.
That's a good point.
Dwayne's here,
Good
man.
point.
I'm afraid of this.
That's a good
When
point.
he
But his
shows-
arms are huge too. I just
He's
kind of figured that like the arms just would just continue into the big upper body, but
I get it. Your Instagram photos would look good because you could flex them at the mirror that cuts
you
off.
know
at
what
the
you
waist,
are with that one? You are Mike the Situation
with the what? The arms?
from Jersey Shore. Yeah. You're just like arms and like little ass legs.
I don't even know what I'd be with the big ass legs and little arms.
Big ass legs and little arms. Saquon Barkley.
There you go.
Actually, I think Saquon's pretty ripped up top. Sidney Crosby. He's pretty bottom heavy.
Is he? No, I don't know.
Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is just all bottom half.
I don't know.
There's not really anyone that has that.
I'd be
It
a
doesn't say
T-Rex.
small arms. It just says weak arms.
Weak arms.
So you can have big
I'm
arms.
all show.
You're just
I'm
a
all
bitch.
show. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. It's
I
fun.
like that.
Hey, would you
I
rather
got
be
nice
would you
quads.
rather be a Yankee or a Red Sox?
Red Sox.
Every single week.
And that's
Thanks
the
for
show.
listening. What's that?
I said, and that's the show.
That's it. That's how we finish. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us at the BnB pod _ on Instagram and Twitter, and at the BnB podcast on TikTok. That's probably a way more fun place because if you're an Oilers fan and somehow you survived this long, you probably already hate me, and it's way more fun to argue with people there. But yeah, we have the actual full username for that. Follow us there. Check out our merch. Should be, I don't know if I link it in the description every week, but I'll link it this time.
I'm going to say this now. I think that we should put a couple of potatoes on some sweaters with the
The Potato Podcast.
That's what it is. Let's change it up right
The
now.
Potato Cast? Maybe we'll just change our name to the Potato Cast. That was so, oh, man. If you're still here and you're listening to speak, go into the comments of our TikTok section and just look at some of the interactions I've had the last 2 weeks since we've started this account. It's my favorite thing of all time.
I hope that you are already thinking of designs because I'm going to ask for the potato.
The Potato Cast?
Yeah, the potato cast, the sweater. Come on. Just a couple of potatoes. 2 potatoes.
It's like our logo. It's like this. It's like this logo, but like 2 potatoes.
Yeah, with our glasses on. Honestly, that's what I want.
Sunglasses on the potatoes. I'm here.
Draw it up. We're getting it done.
I might do it. That's so funny. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Check us out. Like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. We'll catch you next week, same time every week. Cheers.